Style, comedy, issues, entertainment on Young VIP TV. The future is here.
Okay, my name is Naomi Uwem Ekop. I graduated from Afe Babalola University, Ado Ekiti, and I proceeded to the Nigerian Law School, Yenegua campus, where I actually got a first class in the university and then a first class at the Nigerian Law School. And I also came out as the overall best graduating student with about 14 awards then and several awards after the call to bar. Okay, how I mentally prepared myself for law school. So I already had this can-do mentality. Like if I could make it at the university, then it was possible to achieve the same feat at the Nigerian Law School. So I tried to let go of the fears that despite the negative things people were saying about law school, how tough it was, how the environment was, the facilities and all of that, I didn't really let that get to me. I went with this, okay, I'm going to write my own story, I'm going to have my own experience, and it's going to be different, it's going to be positive. I tried to rely on the stories of other people who had made first class, like if they could do it, then I can also do it. Okay, how was law school for me? Law school wasn't really what I expected. I thought it would be this public institution. So when the first day I went to law school, I was actually like, okay, I'm going to a public place, a public institution. But I went and the staff, they were nice and everything seemed organized. And at some point, it didn't seem so fearful as people made it out to be, especially in Yenegua campus. Everything was like chilled and it turned out to be fun. So it wasn't really what I expected. It wasn't so strict, so formal and all of that. You could actually relax, have fun at times in addition to your schoolwork. Okay, any special reading method? I think I just basically, I tried different patterns and then at the end I discovered what was working for me. So I thought that I could read after classes, like immediately after class. I would read what we had been taught that day and then I would make notes, more comprehensive notes apart from notes from class. But I realized that didn't work out so well for me. So what I did was, after class, I would actually go and rest. Then I would, between 5 and 6, that was really my reading time, and I would make use of textbooks and the handbooks. Those were the bulk of my reading materials. Then once in a while, I could go through maybe soft copy materials and all of that. But really, it was my textbooks and the handbook that I used. My normal day in law school, let's say I would wake up around 6 in the morning and I'll go out to pray, a prayer walk for about 1 hour, 6 to 7. I'll come back and prepare for class. So I should be in class around 8:30. So at that point, I could go through what we had for the day. If I hadn't previously read and all of that, I'll just try to go through it. And then class begins by 9 and I'll go through class till 2, 3, 4, depending on the course that you're actually taking for the day. Then after class, I'll just go get something to eat and go back to hostel, sleep a bit. Around 5, I'll come out again, do some reading, work on the group task because I was the assistant group leader for my group, so I would work on the group task ahead of time. My group meeting was usually 7 until whenever we finished working on the group task. So after that, depending on how I felt, I could do a little bit more reading, and then I would go back to hostel and then sleep. So that was like a normal day for me. But then there were days where we had probably church programs like Bible studies on Wednesdays, then class phone meetings on Fridays. So I would have to kind of work my reading around those kind of programs. And then Saturdays, obviously, there was more time for reading, and Sundays too. After church, there were more times for reading. So that was basically how my day was. So I also had other roles. For example, I've stated that I was the assistant group leader, so that was responsibilities in class towards my group. I was also the academic secretary in Class 1, Christian Lawyers Fellowship of Nigeria, and I was responsible for, let's say, tutorials, helping my colleagues and all of that. And in the chapel of Hope, in Yenegua campus, I was also the head of sanctuary keepers and decorations unit. So I just had to combine these roles, what was required of me, with my normal daily activities. Did I attend all the classes from day one to end? Yes, I did, because obviously, where else am I going to? Mondays to Friday, there was really nothing else. If you're not in class, where are you going to be? I didn't have reason to travel when school was in session, and I didn't fall sick, so there was really nothing else. If you're not in class, where else would you be? So I attended every single class throughout the session. Okay, so I wasn't in a study group. I'm not really one to read with people per se, so I wasn't in a study group. I preferred reading on my own. But I tell people, if that works for you, then definitely go for it. The only time maybe I was in a group was just when I was taking tutorials and all of that. So that was really, apart from that, I wasn't in any study group. Did I have friends in law school? Would I recommend it? Definitely, I had friends. I had a friend that we came from the same university, and then we ended up being roommates also. And I also made other friends. My roommates were like friends who turned sisters. Even till now, we are like sisters. That bond is still there. In chapel, I made friends. In class, we also had friends, because Yenegua campus, where I was posted to, is a bit small. You have about maybe 300 and something students. So there was that opportunity to actually, you can see people's character and know, okay, I can work with this person can be a friend. So I had friends, and I would definitely recommend having friends. They don't have to be people that came from the same school as you, because in the process you get to learn, and not just academics. You know, people are coming from different backgrounds, so it's essential you have friends. And these friends will also serve as support group for you. These are people you can pray with, people that will provide a shoulder for you to cry on, people that you can share your worries and your fears about bar finals with, people you can read with, you can ask questions, people that can even help you. Let's say you are going through a difficult time. So definitely, and these are friendships that will last even beyond bar finals and the whole law school experience. So definitely, I would recommend you build strong friendships in law school. Okay, was I in a relationship in law school? I was not in a relationship. I think I just ended one after university, so I didn't really see the need. It was like, okay, law school is a serious program. There's really not so much time. You know, a relationship takes time and effort and all of that. So it was like, for 1 year, you can definitely put a hold on that part of life till after law school. Okay, was it all books for me? Did I go out to have fun? So first of all, I'm not really the outgoing. I'm more of a reserved kind of person. And Yenegua is so small. It's not like there are really so many options if you want to say you want to go out. So I didn't really get to go out, except maybe to, sometimes we would go to our pastor's house, go and chill and all of that, or maybe go out to buy something. But apart from that, I didn't really go out. But I did relax. For me, fun was really staying, probably gisting with my roommates, playing games or watching movies, something like that.
On Young DIPT, the future is here.
Okay, bar finals preparations, the advice I would give, tips that I would give. So first of all, I believe it starts with your mind. You should already have this mindset that if others have made it, you can also make it. You don't have to see bar finals as this, should I say, this monster that you have to face that's probably going to eat you up or something. So I think it first starts with, you have to reconfigure your mind to believe that if people, and recently the results, like the previous results, it's like it's getting better. So if people are definitely doing well, what can stop you? It's just for you to prepare your mind and then study from day one. You don't have to read everything at once or know everything at once. No, that's not possible. But it's sort of like building a house. You put a block upon a block and then you keep going like that. So starting from the first day, just try to see if you can read at least an hour. Try to go through what you've been taught for the day so that it's not towards exams. You now have a bulk of materials to go through and all of that. No. So start early to read, start early to prepare. Sometimes you may feel like, oh, I've forgotten or something like that. Just keep going. It's actually in your mind. By the time you are revising, probably during externship and all of that, you see everything beginning to make sense. Everything is going to start coming together. Then another thing is you practice past questions a lot. There's this advice that you should go back at least 10 years. Yes, go back at least 10 years. So practice both your MCQs and your theory. What is really needed in bar finals is a combination of speed and accuracy. You have to be very fast, especially in MCQs. You have about 100 questions to answer in 1 hour. So you have to, even when you are preparing, you try to answer that in 15 minutes because really you cannot tell what can happen. There was a set that their time was reduced from 1 hour to 15 minutes actually. So you have to practice your speed. And while you're trying to be fast, even in drafting also, you also have to ensure that the answers that you are giving are also accurate answers. And another advice I would give is try to minimize the materials that you're using. It's not proper university where you have to quote from, let's say, 5 different textbooks or something like that. I had just 1 textbook in each course and my handbook and probably notes from class. I believe that will be enough. So you can start out going through different materials, but as you draw nearer, probably from 2nd term, 3rd term, by the end of 2nd term, really, you should have streamlined your materials, the materials you're using. You know, okay, these are the materials I'm really focusing on. Any other materials is just for reference purposes so that you don't get confused. Let's say this textbook is saying this, the other textbook is saying this. Highest, your notes is the deciding factor, what you were taught in class. So you try to limit the materials, know what works for you, and then you use those. Then another thing is, again, know what works for you. Know the timing that works for you to read. Some people are night readers, others prefer to read in day. Some people can read in their rooms, some read in the library. I started out reading in the library, but I realized that wasn't for me. So I used to read in the class, and then at a point, I now started reading in the chapel. So know the place and the time that works for you. For me, I never read in the night. Even during exams, nighttime wasn't just for me. So when others were reading out, sometimes I'll probably be the only person sleeping in my room. So know what works for you and stick to it. Don't let people try to make you lose focus. Don't be distracted. So you mind the company that you keep. Stay with people that say positive things, people that believe that they are going to make it. Not people that probably they're always saying, oh, how bar finals is so hard, how this is this, how number of failures and all of that. So stay away from that. Then I think another thing I would say is try to read the stories of previous graduates of the Nigerian Law School. For me, that's what I did. I read stories of people that had made first class, people that were the best graduating students. I read their stories, and I knew that my story wouldn't be exactly the same because I think there were some people that would say, okay, they read 6 hours a day. That wasn't me. I couldn't do that kind of thing. So just let it encourage you, but you don't have to follow their pattern strictly. But try to see, okay, this is what they did, this is how they felt. Understand that these are human beings like you too. At one point or the other, they had their own fears, but despite all of that, they still came through, and they came through as winners. So read their stories and be encouraged by that, and then just put in your best. Law school is really about doing what is expected of you. Go to classes, do your group task, attend group meetings, read when you should, and really relax. Eat well also, and rest, have fun, and you can actually enjoy the experience. How I felt when I checked my results and then I saw a first class. Was I expecting it? Yes, I was expecting a first class, but that didn't remove the fears, like, oh, will I really get it? So the chapel had this program where it was like the last major program before the exams, and at that program, I just knew, like, by the help of the Holy Spirit, I was going to get a first class. So that was it for me. I knew there and then, and the exams went so well. It actually went beautifully well. But then even the waiting period can make you so nervous. I didn't know how bad I was affected till after I saw the results and everything, but it was great. I felt so excited. I remember when they actually kept us, the official date for the release of results passed. So we just had to wait. We're just waiting without knowing when it will come out. And that time my phone was bad, so it was actually off. And then I was like, one day, okay, let me just put on my phone. And then I put it on and I realized results were out. So I checked and I saw a first class. I think I was so excited. I was so happy. I was like, wow, God, thank you. Like, you know, people feel like when you make a first class from a private university, it doesn't really count. So for me, it's that having a first class meant a lot of things. It meant a validation of my university results. It meant my parents could be so happy because my mother always dances. So I really wanted to see her dance again. So it was really, really exciting to see it. Okay, when I got to know I was the overall best graduating student and how I felt when I got to know that. So it was, we were already in Abuja. We had done our clearance, and I think it was the day of class fund meeting after the general class fund Thanksgiving. I was with some of my friends in my hotel. The next day was the first day of call. So I woke up that morning, the first day of call, and I don't know, I just went on Facebook and someone was like, congratulations, you're the best graduating students. I'm like, who is this? What are you talking about? Where did you get that kind of information from? Why would you want to do this to me by 4 a.m.? And my heart was beating so fast, like I couldn't believe it and everything. So I was now like, how did you know? Like, I don't think the person was even my friend on Facebook. The person just sent me a message and everything. So I closed Facebook. It was later I opened it and I saw he replied that his mom is a member of the body of benchers, so that was how he knew. But still, I didn't believe it. Then I was on my way on a bike to Abuja campus, and I was getting calls, and I was like, why are people calling me this morning? You people should be at your call. Why are you calling me? So I finally went online, my class group chats, and then I saw the whole news. I didn't believe it. I think I was just laughing. Like, I was outside, and I was just laughing. And people were like, I was like, are people serious? Are you sure? And they snapped the page, and they actually put it on the group chat. And I looked at it. Yes, it's obvious this thing was printed. But I was like, are you people really sure? And it was really overwhelming. I felt really overwhelmed. I think at the point I started crying, like, this is too much, because there were a lot of calls, messages. The thing just went viral, and I was like, is this how your life changes in 1 minute just because of a particular news? So it was quite overwhelming at first. It was exciting. It was unbelievable. It was great. My best and worst experiences in law school. I think my best moments were quite a lot. That it was basically about being with friends, being in the Chapel of Hope. Yes, Chapel of Hope and class fund, being among people of like minds and getting to, it was really a learning time, a learning period for me. I got to learn so much at that point, making a lot of friends, people that were sound like in every aspect. It was really great. So I think those were my best moments. Moments with friends, moments with people in Chapel of Hope and class fund. Those were my best moments. My worst experiences may not really be directly linked to the law school, but I think it was just at some point I had some challenges financially, and I got some news from home that wasn't so, not really what anyone wants to hear when they're in law school. So I think for me that was my worst moment, but in the end it all turned out well. Is law school overrated? I would say yes. I would say yes, that law school is overrated because there's so much fear. And recently, I think some months ago, I heard people from past sets saying, oh, how they had PTSD and all of that. Now, I don't look down on their experiences. I don't try to say, okay, that didn't happen. That may have happened. But I feel it's just this cloud of fear, this notion of, oh, law school is so hard. There have been a lot of failures. I think that's where the issue actually comes from. People buying into that idea that, oh, law school is so hard. But I feel you've gone through 5 years of university under different conditions, each year having its own challenge. So I feel law school is just a phase in life. You would look back and then you'd say, oh, is that really the law school that I was scared of, that I was so apprehensive of, and all of that. So I feel it's just a phase in life that you have to be properly prepared for. The issue is that people are not properly prepared for the law school experience, especially mentally. But I believe that the narrative is changing, especially with the results that the previous two results, that the current results and the past one that we've seen. The narrative is changing. People are beginning to see that, okay, we can actually do this. It's not as scary as people make it out to be. And people need to understand that, oh, even apart from this, there are more challenges in life. Usually, masters will be probably more challenging than law school. PhD will be for those who want to be more challenging. You're going to face tougher situations in life. So I feel law school is overrated, really. Okay, any extra thing I would like to add? It's just, really, just be yourself. Know yourself, know your God, know your curriculum. I call it the 3 Ks. So just do what is expected of you. You're really going to turn out the best. I wish you the very best, and I'm always willing to celebrate with you.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Also click on the bell beside it to get notified when we upload new videos.